Hi everybody and welcome to S.M.C Media TV. My name is Steve.
And I'm Theo.
And we want to welcome you to our first pandemic lockdown kind of video, what we want to do. But main topic of the video we want to talk about is obviously what everyone's going through with this pandemic with the COVID-19. All the events what we was going to be filming have been cancelled. So we thought, why not do a video about and checking in with your mental health? That's what we're going to talk about. So before we start, I want to talk to you about my little brother and his acting career. So he's going to tell you a little bit about himself, and now I'm just going to turn down the music.
What's going on, people? What's going on? So like my brother just said, my name is Theo. I'm an actor. I've been doing this for a while. Those that know me know that I've been doing this for a long time, that I love to be on stage, I love to perform, I love to entertain and just make people feel good and tell a story and put on a good show. At the moment I'm currently not working due to the pandemic. You know, Corona's cut down everyone's job and it's making it hard and difficult for everyone to get by, to work, to look after themselves and to provide for their family. So at this current moment in time I'm just chilling. Those who don't know, who's not in the acting industry, COVID has changed our industry and things are going a lot different. Things are going to be harder to get work because again we've got the whole 2 meters whole thing, how everyone has to be distant, and you know the rule of 6, you gotta have more than 6 people, which is making it difficult to do plays, to put on shows, to do anything really. But I'm just gonna talk to you guys on what I know, what I've been going through and how I've been dealing with the pandemic and how I've been getting through all of this through the help and support of my brother, my family, you know, my loved ones and close people by me.
So Phil, some of the projects what you've done, because you obviously was working in China, you were doing a show in China. So when the pandemic started, obviously you was on ground zero for that. Can you tell us a little bit about the show and what it was like dealing with the first stages of the COVID while you was in China?
Yeah, so I was actually in China at the time. I was doing a theatre play. I was doing an open world theatre play where you as the audience members can come and interact with us actors, and then we will set you on missions, and each day that you come will be something different depending on who you speak to, who you interact with and what mission we'll send you on. So every day is a different experience for you, and every day will be a different experience for us as the actor who knows where our character story would take us and where it would develop and where it would go. But yeah, I was actually in China when it happened during the first week. I believe this was in January. Yeah, this was in January when it first happened. I was on Chinese New Year, but because of the New Year in China, everyone always goes back home, back to their village or wherever they came from anyway. So I was in Shanghai, which at that point it was very quiet because a lot of people had left and a lot of shops had shut down because it's New Year's, everyone wants to go spend time with their family. But then when Corona happened as well, it just made things a lot worse. You know, everyone was panic buying food, just like everyone's panic buying food in the UK. But to be fair, it wasn't that bad. Like, I know everyone's all panicking, it's like, oh my gosh, she was in China when it happened, but it wasn't that bad. You know, everyone was calm, everyone had their mask on, everyone was, you know, keeping the distance. The streets were clean, you know, everyone had like a semi-curfew, everyone was just making sure that there was indoors and there was only going outside when they needed to go outside.
So you enjoyed the lockdown early then, didn't you?
Yeah, so I went from lockdown, came back to the UK to have a little bit of freedom just to go straight back into lockdown. So like, as soon as COVID broke out, the show got cancelled. The company started booking flights for everyone to go back home because they didn't want people to be stranded, you know, and not be able to go back home and not be able to fly, because at that time we didn't know what was going to happen. So they acted very quickly and swiftly and started booking flights for everyone to go home, and then within a few days I was back home in the UK with my family.
So do you know any of the status of that show? Would that show be coming back at a later date, or would you be returning back to that show?
At the time we was thinking about extending the show, but because of the pandemic and the nature of our show, it requires a lot of people, and to have a very good successful show, the more people we have, the better it would be. So at the moment, I'm not too sure of the status. Theatre in itself is in an awkward position. At the moment, we cannot all get together to rehearse, to put on shows without having too much people. And as you know, we're not allowed to have a lot of people together, so there will be a lot of empty seats in theatres, and then the whole trying to rehearse while having a mask on, or it's just not possible. We need to have a clear face so that we can speak and people can hear us like right at the back.
It will affect the way the shows, because you participate with the audience in it.
Yeah, so definitely, COVID-19 has definitely affected my work and the theatres and a lot of performers and a lot of other people within my industry as well. So times right now has changed for us.
One other thing I wanted to touch on, like obviously working in China and then coming back to the UK, going through quarantine, like did you know it was going to be, would you expected it to be as the way it is and turn out to be a global pandemic and shut down the UK?
Now at first I didn't think it was anything serious. Like I said at the start, we was all like, oh yeah, it was a little pandemic. Everyone was just panicking. Like I was getting a lot of phone calls from the family, like, don't go outside, make sure you wash your hands, wear a mask. But it wasn't that bad where I was.
You mean your mum?
Yeah, I mean my mum. Yeah. But again, it didn't feel like it was that bad, and I just felt like everyone was blowing it out of proportion, and everyone was going to their wildest imagination and just thinking be worse. But like I said, it was really calm. The only downside was that I couldn't go outside to enjoy myself. I couldn't see friends or family. And then when I'm coming back home, I didn't actually think it would get to the level that it got to. Sorry. But then after a while, it was just calm. I was enjoying the little time off, and I was enjoying spending time with the family and not having to run up and down and go here and go there. It was really nice and calm just to relax and spend time with the family and just to reconnect with myself and get to know myself again. So I believe there was a lot of pros to the pandemic. Yes, we couldn't go outside and we couldn't socialize with some friends, but it still brought a lot of family members together, and a lot of people found themselves outside of work and running up and down, and they managed to find skills that they didn't know that they had, or discover something about themselves that they didn't know. And just take that time to figure out what's important to yourself and where you want to see yourself or what you want to do for the nearby future. It just gave you a minute to breathe and to enjoy life and to be with the people that you love, because as you know, this COVID thing has taken a lot of people, and a lot of people unfortunately have lost their lives either to COVID or to other stuff. But it's just made people just appreciate the ones close by them, and I think that's very important.
So coming back to the UK, obviously the work's dried up, you're an actor. How has that impacted you coming back to the UK, and then obviously no work, no possible signs of work, everything shut down? What did you do? Where was your mindset? Because coming back and everything's all locked up and stuff, like how did that affect you when it comes to regards to work and actually being back in the UK?
No, like at first, I must tell the truth, when they first told us about the pandemic and how the show, because at the time we was on a 1 week holiday, and they was like, oh, we're going to extend your holiday for an extra 4 days. So I'm not gonna lie, at first I was like, yay, extra 4 days holiday, whoop, 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 yeah, I get to sleep some more. And then next thing you know, it's like, yeah, the show's cancelled. And I was like, yeah, I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Yo, Corona took my job. It's like I got no work, I got no income. It's like, wow, this is getting serious. So I was panicking and thinking like, how am I going to survive? How am I going to support myself? But again, with family, they're getting me through this. It has changed the way work goes. So instead of going to my auditions like I normally do, I would normally like travel to London or to wherever it is that I need to audition and do my audition there. But now, because of the whole pandemic and not having too many people together, what we are now doing is a lot of self-tape auditions. So that's basically just record yourself. So what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Like I was saying, I was just talking about how I got through the pandemic and how losing my job, how it made me feel, and being on universal credit and how that kind of helped me. And yes, it wasn't the type of money that I was used to getting. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't making a lot of money. Like,
You was peeing up, baby.
I was making a few pennies, enough to buy biscuit and bread and milk, the important things in life. I don't need a lot. I just need enough to get
buy them tea bags.
Oh, you gotta get them 20 tea bags, baby. Them 20 teas.
Yeah,
But I was just getting enough to buy milk and bread. That's all you need, really. It's just a little bit of food on the table. But yeah, just trying to survive on a little bit of money that the government's giving us. It's hard, and you have to make a lot of sacrifices in places, and a lot of decisions on what's important to pay and what's not.
Did you get funny looks when you went to the job centre and you said that you were an actor?
It was very difficult at first to go to the job centre to try and sort myself out and registered as self-employed, because my line of work is quite difficult. It comes here and there. But luckily, my last job centre worker who was overseeing me, she was really cool. She was very helpful, and she helped me to get and set up what I need to. So shout out to Jenny. Jenny. Yeah, actually, we were having good conversations, and we was just talking about work, and then she seemed very enthusiastic to hear what I had to say. So on the day that I got my job to China, I actually rolled up into the job centre and I told her straight away, it's like, yo, I got a job, I'm leaving, it's for this long and I won't be coming back. And she was very happy and supportive that I managed to get off the system. But then Corona happened, I had to come back home, I lost my job, had to apply back. But when I went back to see if I can get Jenny, she had already gone back, so her usual bread, because the job centre by me was falling short on people, so they had to get other people from other centres. So she was only there as a fill-in, but now she's gone back to her usual set and now under someone else.
What's that person like?
They're okay.
Do she?
Can't really remember their name, so I'm sorry for the person that's watching this and is actually managing my case. I apologise. I had more interactions face to face with Jenny. That's why I remember her so much.
This person's over the phone, isn't it?
This is just purely over the phone messages, so I can't connect to that person. I'm more of a face to face kind of connection rather than just on screen words.
So, most important thing, going to China, which is a one-off situation, a life-changing situation to work in another country as big as China. How has that affected your mental state? Because on a personal note, I have found it very difficult, and I've realised that as men, we don't really like to admit that we are struggling mentally, because there's a big stigma towards it. So we will ignore it, refuse to talk to people, or just suffer in silence. Now I've also had to make sure I found people to support and speak to and give them my opinion. How's all this affected your mental health, and do you feel the stigma of it has stopped you from talking to people about it?
At the moment, I do agree with what you're saying. And, we men, we don't like to talk about our mental issues or whatever problems we are going through. I myself am very much like that. If I'm going through something, I will try to deal with it myself rather than talk to you or the family to let them know to see if they can help me. I would always try and sort it out myself, because I don't want to burden people, and me doing that is making the situation worse. It's making me panic more, it's making me go into my head more, and I'm stressing more, and I'm starting to worry, and it starts to bring me down, and it affects me in different areas that I didn't think it would affect me. So it could affect you in your weight, in the way how you behave and interact, and you're just not yourself. And the people closest to you will always can see that. So I don't know, but my parents, they could see that I was not myself, and they had to encourage me to speak up on whatever my issues were. Okay. So I definitely recommend that you should speak to someone And but luckily we're at the times now where a lot of people are speaking up about mental health, and a lot of men are coming forward, so it's not as hard as it was before to speak about it, because now everyone's speaking about it. This is a topic that a lot of people are addressing and trying to find ways to help each other and just help everyone. So there is a lot of things out there to help you to get through it, and there's a lot of support. So make sure you go out and you get every possible help that you can get through whatever situation you're going through. Make sure you find out one person that you can speak to about anything and just try to confide in them. If you haven't got one of those, I just suggest or recommend probably finding a professional, someone who can help you to recognize your problem and how to handle it. So once you figure that out, you know how to handle the situation and not the situation handle you.
Yeah. I totally agree with you, because I've got a healthy respect for people who suffer in silence. You don't have to suffer. I know it's hard for some people to tell people what they're really going on in their head. I am one of them people. I've been around people with mental health issues, my father, my brother, cousins, good friends. I've lost friends to suicides recently and over the years, and when you hear them stories and you see them tragedies happen, you're thinking, wow, I didn't know that person felt like that. I didn't know that person was that low, or that felt that alone, that they couldn't talk to somebody and they took that way out. I can understand that, because I've been there myself. I've had them feelings, I've had them thoughts, and it's not a good thing. Some things are due to the pandemic. People have lost their loved ones, their grandparents and friends and uncles and aunts and brothers and sisters through this pandemic. A lot of them is because they've lost their job, their livelihood. I am in that category. I had a really good job, and I've lost it due to the COVID-19. Some of them are relationship breakdowns, and through this pandemic it's been a high rate of relationship breakdowns. Believe it or not, it has been a boom. I myself have suffered loss in relationships, so I also can speak and say that it's been very difficult to go through a breakup in a pandemic, through a lockdown, and actually feel like my mental health was a question. It was a situation where you have good days, you have bad days, but this whole year has been a write-off. Now, regards to your support mechanism, you have obviously confided in your relationship. How's that been for you through the pandemic? Has it been easy for you to manage, or has it been something you've looked at differently?
Relationships in a pandemic. Well, it's like, it has been difficult. Obviously, it's difficult for some people that's in a relationship, because, you know, let's just say, for instance, your other half is in a different house. You know, at the start, you know, they're saying that you can't visit other people, so then that means you're now used to seeing each other every day to now only speaking to each other and through FaceTime, and it's different not having that person next to your side, and you want to go see them and, you know, just get like a hug just so you can feel a bit better, but you can't. You know, you're not allowed outside. You go outside, people are cussing you out like, what are you going outside for? Or why don't you have your mask on? You don't care for us, and, you know, all of that stuff. But that was at the start, but things are better now because we can actually go out and see each other. You just don't have much to do, but that's okay, because it gives you time to sit down with that person and try to get to know that person and know each other all over again.
Do you think it's stressful being in a pandemic now in a relationship? Do you think it makes a little bit more harder, like, to go out or to do anything?
It's definitely testing a lot of relationships, because again, you always spend most of your time at work, so through a lot of the hours in the day you're actually separated. But now, because everyone's on lockdown and a lot of people have lost their jobs, Go. So yeah, like I was saying, year 2020, we have lost a lot of things and a lot of people, but we also have gained a lot as well. So it just depends on how you want to look at this year.
I like the fact they said boy, sir. Boy, sir. I totally agree. I think I've looked at everything completely different this year. 2020 has opened my eyes and made me reevaluate myself, my behavior, my past behavior, how I deal with people, how I talk to people, how that people perceive me. I've looked at everything out. I've dealt with my relationship, my past relationship, as I say, and I miss that person. But it probably make me a better human being going forward, because now I've had time to sit down and really give myself a good debriefing. So as much as 2020 sucks, hopefully going forward, yeah, it will make me a better person. Now, other thing I wanted to touch is you got some up and coming projects coming. You're doing a lot of auditions. What is your aspirations for the future with this regards to acting?
So those who know me know that I strive to be an actor. No, not be, I am an actor. So I need to correct myself, I am an actor. I do work, I've done a lot of theatre plays, I've done commercials, auditioning for TV shows, movies here and there. So for me in the future is just to continue, hoping that classes can start back up so I can add to my CV, extend my repertoire of being an actor and just get more work, and hopefully, the pandemic will ease up and the restrictions will ease up and then more work will continue to flow. Some acting jobs have opened up again. Like I said, I've had a couple self-tape auditions this year. I've submitted them and now I'm just waiting back to hear if I've got them or not. If I haven't got it, then that's cool. I'm just going to move on to the next project, because I always know there's always going to be something in the future for me. And if I don't get this job, I just know that God's going to provide me with something a lot bigger and better. So I'm just gonna be happy, humble and thankful for the work that's coming my way and the opportunity to take part in this project or play or whatever it is.
Sounds good. Now, one thing we also want to say on S.M.C Media TV, we have got a lot of content coming up. We've got a few interviews for this channel, S.M.C Media TV. Also for our other channel, which is pt2 Media, what deals with music, artists, up and coming sound systems and interviews along with that. So please stay tuned, please subscribe. And I want to thank my brother Theo for coming around. We're going to do a lot more of these shows, but if you do like what you have seen, please click subscribe, like, share, leave a comment, obviously. But we will do some more, because there's a lot of topics to talk about. There's a lot of issues regarding mental health and knife crime. We haven't even touched the knife crime, because we're both from Winson Green, you see. So we're very passionate about these youths what wanna walk around and pick up knives and do them kind of stuff. Like, we're very against that. I'm against it, my brother's against it, and we want to make sure we can do some awareness videos around them topics. So please, hopefully coming up soon, we'll have my good friend D White, known to you as White D from Benefit Street? James Turner Street. But we'll have her in the studio at some point, and obviously me and my brother are gonna start clapping out some of these videos. If that's what you like, what?
That's what I want.
Is that what you want? Anyway, thank you for tuning in and watching us on S.M.C TV, S.M.C Media TV. My name's Steve, this is Phil, and we'll see you next time. Bye. I'll let you do the mic drop.
Boom. I'm not gonna drop it. It's expensive.